we were talking about like trying to get a lot of different regions represented, like not just pick Korean players, not just pick like American players. Try to hit some EU, and they were having a discussion like, oh yeah, like let's get a Russian player because we think they have some really good talent, and then yeah, and then Andre was like, yeah, I really love Braddock. You know, he's like a really good Russian Terran player, and then Rotterdam was like, yeah, I really like Titan. Titan's a really good player as well. And then Peter was like, that's really funny because Slivko's my favorite player. And they all kind of look at each other and said, well, I guess we just pick players based off our race we play. It was actually really funny based on that. We're like, huh, a lot of bias in this room.
No bias, bro.
And I was like,
NASL casters are the least biased casters.
Is there any Russian random players that play? I'm like, well, I can't find any, so I guess I vote for no one.
You could have been the deciding factor.
I could have been
in getting Braddock over to the
Andre, don't hate me.
into the NASL Sunday Showdown, but
we see that SIW is scouting after Pylon. Of course, that's usually if you indicate a Nexus first, but I guess in this case he wants to get the Forger because he doesn't scout him in time, so gets it up pretty safely. Now in Tomb Valley, a lot of Protoss players like it because that fast third, Andre, but is there any reason why you may particularly like it outside of that fast third?
Yeah, because your opponent is going to die to a lot of fast third play. I mean, when Zerg try to get their really, really fast 3-base, what ends up happening is that this Destructive Rock still stays until, let's say, 4-gate pressure is done. So if you do any sort of 4-gate pressure, it actually gives you the chance to do continued aggression because you're still segmented. All the units that would be taking down the Destructible Rocks are not, right? They're dealing with units. So what that actually helps is, let's say, 6-gate Blinkstalker follow-up or 8-gate Blinkstalker follow-up, things like that. Even Immortal timings are really good. They are cross-positioned, which will hurt Protoss a little slightly bit, but when it comes down to it, I mean, if Siu plays this, I'm going to call him Siu. If he plays this right, I think he should be able to do some sort of 4-gate pressure. It doesn't have to be complete 4-gate. It's just saying, hey, make sure your units aren't actually attacking that ramp, or not ramp, that Destructive Rocks, and then follow it up with some sort of continued aggression, whether it be Warp Prism, whether it be Immortals, Void Ray, I don't care. Just do something cool.
So we see that Slivko at this point, he's just shown pretty reactive styles where he just waits for you to do something in ZVZ or ZVP, and then based off his scouting, able to form aggression based off the knowledge he has, but he's not going to force anything. He's not going to try to roach pressure. He's not going to try to go huge anything. And that's just kind of the way Slivko's been playing, just playing strong macro-based styles, and I like that. And we'll see whether or not our Protoss player is able to really do anything from that. He does have a couple of options in Tomb Valley. What kind of styles are really good on Tomb Valley, Andre? Do you like Stargate? Do you like Robo? Do you like just straight up Gateway, early pressure?
I think Robo is actually the best way because when you show Robo, you still show that you want to actually be a little bit aggressive. You have the capabilities of being aggressive, but you just blow down the Destructive Rocks and you have the access to the third base very easily, block off everything, and you're good to go. So it kind of does both things. 4-gate Robo, I think, is the best way. 4-gate Robo Expand is the best way to actually do this. And you don't actually have to get any units. You just have to threaten some sort of attack, and Zergs have to overreact based on the map. That's what I think is the best build order on this map. But I know other people have stylistic things that they just want to play out the map just like any other map, and they don't want to abuse the fact that those Destructive Rocks are really annoying for the Zerg.
Yeah, it's just a little bit annoying, but at the same time, the way our Protoss player is kind of formulating everything, he gets +1 really early.
Yeah.
So it just seems like he's going to try to gateway pressure in some form, whether or not it's usually for his first units or he's going to get more gateways. And he also has delayed his gases that is natural from usual timings. A lot of Protoss kind of rush that third gas, maybe squeeze if they want to squeeze out tech, especially if they want to start pumping out sentries. But I'm curious to see where he goes from there.
Yeah, I don't think we'll see sentries. 2 additional gateways are going to go down. The third one is on the way, I'm sure. Third gateway, prove me right. Yes, 4-gate pressure. That is what we'll be seeing. As you can see, a Stalker and a Zealot are already out in the field. And there's ample amount of Zerglings actually to clear this out, or at least stop this from doing continued aggression. But you can already see, oh, why aren't you working on these Destructive Rocks?
He's too worried about the Zealot and the Stalker, at least for now. Yes, but you always have to try to see if you can shut down early. Oh! And the Zealot actually provides a really nice exit. The Zealot Stalker working very good in tandem. Good micro from both players, actually. And he's targeting down the weak Zerglings when he kites as well. Very nice.
Not bad, Sue.
Not bad.
But here it is. The pylon in the bottom right-hand side over here is going to be spotted by that single Overlord. And what do we see? Where is it? Come on. Zealots. 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 There it is.
Yeah, the Zealots are going to be warped in. Now, a lot of Zerglings are very tender based off the earlier engagements, so some of them will just die in 1 or 2 hits. Or sorry, 1 hit instead of 2. And that's just going to help Sue in terms of managing how well he's able to pressure. Slivko does not have a lot of creep spread just yet. In fact, he's trying to rely on his Spore and his Spine. But now the 4-gate rush has eventually arrived, and is Slivko going to be okay to deal with this? This is kind of exactly why Zerg players don't like this map. But it looks like the Spine Crawler got up just in time to push it off for now. And all of a sudden, Slivko seems to have stabilized for a little bit, at least for now.
Yep. But, you know, Slivko had to invest a lot into this, and this is all defense. Look, he is at 59 Harvesters, which obviously is very good. Now finally taking out the Destructive Rocks. But I love the order that Seo actually did this. You can see he went for the Nexus and then the Robotics Facility. He's still staying very safe and now taking down his Destructive Rocks. The safer way is to get this Robotics Facility slightly faster, but the amount of damage that he did to his opponent was actually quite significant. It wasn't actually, you know, direct damage. It was the fact that he was cutting his opponent out from so much intelligence. He didn't see whether a third base was going up or not. He doesn't have Overlords really in position because he's cross-mapped. So he's taking advantage of all these little tiny things and saying, okay, I can squeeze out my Nexus slightly faster, and from that I can just go to the Robotics Facility and be safe. And from all this, look at how many Roaches and Zerglings are out. Finally now, 4th hatchery is going to go down. This is a little bit delayed relative to what we saw Slivko do against, who was it? Who's that Protoss that he played? Where it's like this exact same situation on Daybreak.
You mean when he beat Hearthstone?
Yes, yes, that's exactly right.
Yes. Yeah, no. When he saw that 3rd, he grabs a 4th base, techs up the Hive, and actually stall for just enough time, threaten pressure, and just really force Protoss in a defensive spot. Even though, you know, Protoss really can't move out. Blink is about just started, +2 just started as well. He doesn't have any real way to confront an army. In fact, his Robotics Bay is not even started at this point. So there's plenty of time for Slivko to get whatever he wants. But in the end, he just wants to threaten. He wants to constantly remind SIW of what he's capable of.
Yeah. And from here, I think I'm from Sue. I'm sorry.
Is it Sue?
I don't know. But from here, I think he can just play defense mode this entire time. Wow, going to Templar Archives. Very interesting. So, as I was talking about in one of the earlier games, Templar Archives is definitely a style that I think Hero popularized quite a bit. Is focused on relying on High Templar Storms to actually defend against most of the pushes rather than actually using Colossus. Now, I think it's perfectly fine. It's definitely a manageable way to actually do this, but you have to have ridiculous control. Like, you have to have really, really good control if you want to have this work. Just because the storms need to be accurately placed, and then you don't have the power to actually remove all the Spine Crawlers. So you have to work on a lot of multi-pronged harass. And the thing about High Templars, it does actually make you go a lot more defensive and then have these little tiny punches and pokes if you want to be good. Almost like Chun-Li if you're playing Third Strike. But this
just
is
like that.
It's exactly like that.
I didn't play much Chun-Li. I was always more of the guy who just learned how to Hadouken and just kept spamming it.
Hadouken, Hadouken, Hadouken.
Yeah, and then maybe learn how to Dragon Fist once in a while.
Jump, Dragon Fist.
I always picked Ken just because I didn't want to be like everyone else and play Ryu. But you can see that Slivko sees pretty much this pylon. So he doesn't see the pylon.
He hasn't seen this coming at all.
Yeah.
This is a complete surprise.
This Blink Archon timing is going to hit pretty hard since Slivko has been unprepared, but he does have a couple Infestors out. And of course, he doesn't really use the High Templars for feedbacks. He's just using them directly to tank. No Storm available. In fact, our Protoss player has not even gotten any single probes after this point. So this is pretty much the time that he's been looking for. The Fungals are trying to latch down onto the army. The flank from Slivko also from the rear. And a lot of forces are popping up, but does Slivko have enough to really hold? The Infested Terran should be able to deal with almost everything, and the Stalkers are blinking back, but look at how much DPS Zerg has compared to what Protoss has, and the Stalkers are forced to
power of Infestors, that Infested Terran plus Fungal combination is just so powerful, and he was able to do that with the surround. It was absolutely beautiful. A lot of the infestors actually got segmented off with those force fields, but coming in from that different angle really empowered that army. Now Sue is so far behind, as you were saying, he didn't really invest anything into probes. On top of that, all of his gas was going into High Templars, which were then going into Archons. So no Storm follow-up. This is very difficult to actually stop. I think with Slivko, all he has to do is just macro, get more bases, wait until his infestor energy goes up, and then push yet again. This fourth base is really, it's undefendable. You cannot defend against that. Slivko should be able to push forward in a matter of minutes, or even right now. I think he feels so confident.
Minutes I'm just saying that. He needs, Andre.
Yeah, maybe a couple seconds, but seriously, like if he just gets more energy on these infestors, he's fine, man.
Yeah. I mean, even just forcing to cancel nonstop, and I mean, Protoss, I guess, is more than comfortable staying on 6 gas for a while. But the idea is he needs to start thinking of controlling more of the map. It can't just be limited to in this area. And the Fungals really want to keep, or will keep the Stalkers in place, but this managed to escape with the Stalkers for now. The Zerglings are now engaging directly onto the front, while the Infestors are trying to also jump onto the high ground with the Infested Terrans. Roach is engaging directly. The Stalkers are really, where are they going to blink to at this point? They really have nothing to do. GG! And Slivko ends the day with 6 wins. And Andre, that is not $600. It is $450.
Congratulations, Slivko. You definitely deserved it. My God, absolutely excellent. Army control in that last fight, and I have to say Slivko was a monster this European Gauntlet. He definitely deserved it, and he qualified for the NASL, I guess, Gauntlet playoffs or Gauntlet finals?
The finals. The Final Four fan favorite. I had to practice that tongue twister like 5 times before I said it onto our segment. That pretty much wraps it up, though. So in terms of the 9 games, now we want to remind you that we will have one more day in Korea. This is not the last time of our Gauntlet. We'll have one more, and I believe that is next week. So next Wednesday, the Gauntlet resumes on the final day of Korea. And if you have any people that you want to play over in that region, let them know. So that way they can win $75 and potentially a spot. But real quick, Andre, before we go, let's do a couple things. Let's first list off all the players that qualified.
Yeah, we have, let's see, Nurchio, Bling, TT1, Cat, Vibe, Hart, Huangsin, Johnny Rico, Select, Axlav, Crank, Sleep, Kane, Suppy, Harstrom, and Slivko. My gosh.
It's a pretty good pool. Of course, you can find all information at nasl.tv for our website. But that does it up for the rest of today. We're done here. Guys, follow us on Twitter, twitter.com/Frodan, twitter.com/Gretorp, where you can just send us your thoughts about the game as well as interact with us. And let us know if you're subscribed. That way we can personally reward you. Thank you so much for watching, and I guess we want to thank our sponsors as well. I was about to send us off. Good thing you reminded us. Thank you to Epson, the #1 projector brand worldwide. Epson offers a full line of projectors of brilliant image quality. Check them out at epson.com.
Azo monitors are the monitor supply here at the North American Star League. Check them out at azo.com/NA.
Thank you so much to Kingston HyperX. Kingston HyperX provides SSD and memory. Go ahead and check them out at kingston.com/US/memory if you want to pick up anything else. And thank you so much for all they do for esports.
GameMinder is the place where you can set a reminder about everything, whether a new game comes out, a broadcast that you want to see, MLG, NASL, IPL, everything. Go over to GameMinder at hondalabra.com/products/GameMinder.
Thank you to iBuyPower, the pre-assembled PC company where you can buy your own computer if you're just sick and tired of assembling. Go ahead and check them out at iBuyPower.com.
Also, big shout out and thanks to Twitch.tv and Tropical, of course, Twitch.tv, the provider here of our stream. They are absolutely awesome. I love you guys, Kevin, Gunrun, everybody over there.
Fish sticks as well.
Oh, yeah.
And thank you to Tropical, the DJ that is providing music. Tropical is pretty much livened up the place. You can tell between commercial breaks and our intros and outros. Tropical is a great producer as well as a DJ. Go ahead and download some of his music at soundcloud.com/tropical-official. And that should do it, Andre. What was the game of the day for you?
The one with the Terran.
I really personally enjoyed Hearthstone versus Slivko. Really good play from both sides. The last game actually had a really cool push potential, but in the end fell just a little bit short. But the story of the day was Hearthstone winning 4, Hearthstone winning 4 dating back to the previous EU, and Slivko winning 6. And that brings us to our final day in Korea next Wednesday. Tune in then. Until then, we're out. Peace out.
Bye, guys.
In the words of Mr. Bitter, bye-bye. Bye-bye. Good luck, Bitter at MLG, and Kevin.